TravelingMel.com. We have been in Estonia for about a week now, and we haven't been filming. We've been doing a lot of work, a little bit of exploring, going out and seeing things. We went to see a movie. Today we are taking our first free walking tour. It's called Tales of Reval free walking tour, and of course, like most of these free walking tours, you tip at the end. Our guide is really good, it seems like, and we're learning a lot about the medieval period. So here we go.
Close enough, if monster man can pat you on the head, you're close enough.
And starts riding around. So
it's like with every step a golden coin drops into your pouch. And all these peasants looking at you in awe.
The Kiek museum here is something you definitely want to see in Tallinn. And again, my pronunciation is terrible, but it's kind of a funny name if you Americanize it a little bit. In German or Danish, it means peek in the kitchen, because from these towers you could look down into the kitchens of all the people in Old Town. There's a fortress museum. There are secret passageways through the old city walls, and you can climb up some towers, and a shooting simulator.
Passages, and there's no real explanation of what's going on, but it's pretty obvious they were used for bomb shelters and homeless people and all kinds of stuff, and it's kind of creepy. Cool, but kind of creepy. Travelers, that means hello in Estonian. Today we are at the Estonian Open Air Folk Museum. Melinda is working on one of those sweet, tasty blog posts you guys love so much for TravelingMel.com, so she's not going to join us. And I'm not sure this is really her favorite thing to do anyway, so that's cool. We do like it. Well, I like it. So the boys and I are here, and we want to tell you a couple things about it. One, how to get here. It's kind of far away from the center of town, and so there's a couple ways to get here. One is by bus or tram, and there's all sorts of ways to buy tickets for that. There's also, we decided to take an Uber because the math of 3 people on a tram back and forth, plus the time it takes to figure all that out and wait for it, it just made more sense for us to do the Uber. And it was a quick, easy ride. It was about, I think, €8 here, probably €8 back, versus, I think it's gonna be €12 round trip on the bus. This open air museum is open every day except for a few holidays, not many actually, and I gotta switch arms. And it costs us about €20 for the family ticket to get in. I think it's €10 for adults, and I'm not sure how much it is for kids, but the family ticket works for us. Also, if you have a Tallinn card, I think that gets you in here for the cost of the Tallinn card. That's part of it. So we really haven't done much more research than that, other than it's a open air folk museum and lots of historical stuff about Estonia and Estonians. So we're looking forward to that. And here we go.
visiting this noisy section of downtown Tallinn, Estonia. So we're gonna go in, we're very excited. It's probably gonna be one of the best things to do in Estonia, the whole country. Have a picnic in the park. Or the Kumu Modern Art Estonian Museum in the park. Take a harbor cruise out to one of the nearby islands or just a sightseeing cruise around the harbor. Today we are taking a boat ride out to one of the nearby islands called Nassar, possibly. And it used to be all full of landmines and stuff. It was a Soviet base, so it should be kind of interesting. I think the landmines are mostly gone now. But we are taking the Sunlines ferry cruise. You have to make a reservation and it does fill up, so do that. It is around 20 euros round trip for adults if you get the tour price, but if you get the ferry price, it's 7 euros each way. So I'm not really sure how that's gonna work, but we're gonna find out.
We had a very pleasant ride over on the boat, and it took about an hour, I guess, maybe a little longer. We got here. You have to reserve your bikes and your tours and stuff on the boat before you get here. And so Melinda and Anders have rented a bike, and Finn and I are going to walk around. You can also do a narrow gauge train, which is not really a train. You can do these tours on army trucks and that sort of thing. And then we get here at the port, and there's an info kiosk, there's a couple restaurants and cafes and that sort of thing. We're actually going to go and have a little picnic on the beach. We brought our food, and we're going to do that. And then Melinda and Anders are going to go for a ride, and Finn and I are going to find some other things to do.
Anders and I decided to rent bikes and go for a little bike ride. It's really sandy. How are you enjoying it, Anders?
Not.
No, it's really hard to ride on. It's quite sandy. Stop to do some blueberry picking. I'm super excited. Didn't get very many. It takes a long time. It's kind of labor intensive. But I was hoping we'd do some berry picking while we're here in Estonia. And we have, and they're delicious. So I'm gonna take these few back for Anders, not Anders, the other one, Finn and Henry, and share our vast bounty with them. We just got back from the Seaplane Harbor Museum. It's this really great museum in this big hangar that's been around since the early 1900s, built by the Russians, I believe. And a cool interactive museum that looks at marine life for Estonians for a really long time. There's a big submarine you can go in, there's VR goggles, there's movies, tons of boats, and it's just kind of a beautiful, artistically done place as well. So we used the Tallinn card to get in. This has been our way to get into museums and stuff, and we used it on the bus so we could get back. So this has been a great investment, but of course you can just pay for it yourself and go in. can do in Tallinn is visit the KGB cells, which is where prisoners were kept until 1950, and not exactly super uplifting experience, but a very important one. And it's not scary, so you could bring your kids. You have to do a little bit of reading to really understand what's going on. One of the fun things to do in Tallinn is to come out to this suburb called Nomme, which again, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, but there's this great market here full of fruits and vegetables and meats and other probably crafts and stuff. We haven't fully explored it yet. Good restaurants for breakfast or lunch or dinner. And we're going to walk down or take an Uber to a bog so we can check that out. There's a castle, there's forest trails, so there's a lot to do in this little suburb. You could definitely spend at least a day here. Wander the Telliskivi neighborhood and check out all the street art, which is really beautiful all around, and the super hipster, trendy restaurants and shops and boutiques. And it's really different than Old Town and really cool. While you're here, you should go to the market, or the Turg as it's called, and get yourself some Estonian black bread. Stuff is so heavy. We got half a loaf, but and it's really good. We've had it in restaurants, so get yourself some of that. And if it's summer, you should get some berries. There's all these local berries, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, lots of berries that I don't know the name of, probably cloudberries, but the market's a cool place to get local produce. And this market is right near the train station on the other side of it from Old Town. The Estonia Natural History Museum is a cool little natural history museum in Old Town, and it's kind of fun to get out and do something different than the medieval or the Soviet stuff, although that is all really cool too. But you get to learn about all the little critters and plants and different types of forests that you can find here in Estonia. So it's not huge, but it's well done. Parts of it are in English, and you can download an app that has some audio tour that's in English, should you prefer English to other languages for museum viewing. And also a cool augmented reality app you can get too.
This is a really cool natural history museum. One of the things I've noticed about Estonia is they have a lot of tech. They've really embraced it. And especially here at this museum, they've got this AR app, augmented reality app, and you download that on their Wi-Fi, which they have for free. And then you find these little spots, which I'm going to show you in a second, and you get to use augmented reality. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. So, that's what the spots look like. Right? And then come up here, and it's kind of like Pokemon Go in a way, I think. It just has these hotspots, and you can get to see these VR critters. They've got about 5 or 6 of them around. One of the things you can do if you just want a down day is come to the beach. You might not think of Estonia as being a beach area, but Pirita Beach, Pirita Rand, north of town, is an awesome beach, shallow water, and on a warm day like today, it gets super popular.
If you are looking for something yummy and kind of different here to do in Tallinn, you can come to Chocolala and make your own chocolates. We took a 2-hour class and we got to fill the chocolates with anything we wanted. Super delicious. Learned a lot about the history of chocolate and chocolate making in Estonia, and also just kind of fun, interesting Estonian information. We had a great time, highly recommended. And if you don't have time for that, then you should still come to the store and get some of the chocolates, because they really are outrageously delicious and beautiful. They're just some really pretty things in here.